Welcome back, everyone, to the Cult of Larry Draft League Season 4, Week 6 Initiate Division Review. As always, you have your mod squad, Helix here, and Kelpo.
Hello, all.
Well, do you want to anything to say? I think do we have one drop and we've already covered it? I think we're all caught up now.
Yeah. So we had 6 games this week. Because I believe, someone was sick with COVID. I think, which sucks. But I mean, to make it this far with only having one extension and it, being to something like that, I would say is very, very, very good.
Yeah, a couple drops,
So
but they got picked up quickly, so we're glad everybody wanted to keep playing, even though you didn't start. So glad to have you guys all here, and I think we just got our classic 3 games, and we'll take a look at standings and kill leaders. So let's hop into game 1 here. We've got the replacement game, fishing, and Boss.
yeah, and both of these coaches going into it were 0-5. So this was a battle to stay in possible playoff contention. I think both of them still technically are, but it is a very, very hard road ahead for both of them.
Yeah, I don't remember. We'll look at the standings after, but I feel like when I looked, it was really top heavy, and then it looked like 1, 4, and 5 team was probably going to squeeze in. But we'll see. Just looking at the
That's
teams, I love that we got to see a Venomoth, and I love that we're getting to see Knackle Stackle. Akboss's team is pretty standard, because I'm pretty sure that's a Mega Medi. But I like Gengar. I cannot get any use out of it right now, but hopefully he does.
I believe this is the top 6 for Akboss. I think maybe Heatran didn't come, which is understandable given the matchup.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, definitely some interesting lower tier brings from fishing on, and interestingly, Iron Treads, or not Iron Treads, Iron Leaves without Coco to set up terrain for it.
Yeah, that is a little different, but is it his Terra Captain? It's got to be, right?
Venomoth, Knacklestack, and Iron Leaves are all
Okay.
Terras for this game, so it could be any of the 3.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's hop in and see how it goes. The mini salt boy. Okay, and the instant Terra.
Immediate, yeah. I think Earthquake was a pretty expected bring on the Haxorus,
Here comes freeze dry. 50.
and it
I mean, God, it does so much damage.
it does. I think it was probably just trying to get Sucker Punch range for the Qianpao.
Oh,
So the
acid
acid,
armor.
so
Okay.
yeah, the acid armor is a very, very interesting bring. That facade,
But
man,
why water? What was the thought? Is there a big water threat on the other side? I guess maybe so he can't get. Hey, but it doesn't matter if he gets skull burned. Maybe it's for the Chien Pao. But I would have just gone normal. Probably. You might kill Tusk with normal, but no, I would have done like a 90ish.
I think water had to be for the Qianpao. I don't think there was anything else that water, because you're still weak to leaves.
Yeah.
The skull burn. It
Moon
doesn't really
Blast.
matter.
Maybe he was afraid of a soundproof mod on the team.
Could be.
It's like the only reason why you bring it. We really need a headphones item to we have the goggles. We need the headphones. The only thing is that it makes the salt cure just oof. Goodness.
Fine. Again, yeah, normal Terra kills there, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, It's always so easy to say later, and then you realize in the
It
game,
is. That's true. That's true.
All right, sweep. Venomoth. All right, I love this.
Yeah. So you got one quiver. I don't based on the Ursaluna.
The greed.
So I actually did ask him because I was curious because that was a really weird turn. I did ask after, and he did say that was a misclick.
Oh damn! I've done that
No?
when you get so excited and you're like, I've got the plus up, and you just click the wrong button. Oof.
Yeah.
Man, Leaf Blade does a lot.
But Leafs is really scary. It
is a really janky mon on typing, but it has really a pretty good physical offensive move pool, and then just like a life orb, just being able to swap in and out seems to be really good. Oh my, yep, that's how my Gengar's been in my NPB season. Just comes in and dies.
Yeah, that was a pretty safe knockoff. That was a really risky Gengar switch in.
Oh, to be fair, there are no safe Gengar switch-ins anymore. It's like paper thin.
Also true.
Here we go. All right.
So
fishing is bringing some
terrain,
heat.
And the yawn immediately gets countered from the terrain. That was such a good turn. I don't think he was expecting a yawn.
No, definitely.
But there's no way. However, it looks so much cooler.
Oh my god, yeah.
That it got.
Although here's the issue. This thing with a boost is frightening.
Yeah, but I mean,
now officially the fastest thing on the board.
But I mean, the Chien-Pao Sucker Punch is, it forces it out. You still have a really healthy Vaporeon that can eat a. Max Special Defense has to take 2 freeze tries, surely. Like we've seen that it's boots.
I think it took like 47 from it, so with Protect, I think it definitely does.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has Protect yet. Man, Psyblade does
so
even at 80 base power, it does so much damage.
So I think that Leaves was definitely calling the Zen Headbutt bluff, or not the Ice Punch bluff.
Yeah, I'll see how much this does. Oh, he Hydros.
I mean, I guess if you're expecting the Chien-Pao to come in, but yeah, that Hydro seems really optimistic.
Drain Punch is tough.
And yeah, you don't immediately facade. It gets you need a crit at this point, which and the sub seems kind of nice, but then there's the Calm Mind, and now you have to crit.
Need a crit. Big bear. I still don't understand why you're not just facading at this point. I mean,
the health. Yeah. No, you have to crit a Trailblaze.
Yeah, it definitely two-shotted. 28, yeah, where it been about like 47, 48. I mean, God, 3 defensive and still does that. Well, hey, that was a crazy one. I would not have guessed on that board. Vaporeon setting up to win with all of this. But
yeah,
really
that was
well done.
I mean, Fishing On has a very setup heavy team. Like, I think
Gen 9.
you have, but it's like the Curse Knackle stack, the SD or Trailblaze agility kind of Iron Leaves. You have Quiver. You have you can be SD on. It's just everything has setup potential. You could even, if you're feeling it, you could even run a bulk up Great Tusk. So it's a scary team to prep for sure.
Yeah, this was fun. I on paper when I looked at it in the matchup, Chien-Pao obviously had a pretty good matchup if you can get the bundle chipped, and depending on the Terra. But other than that, I didn't think his matchup was that great, but he played it really well. Great setup, so really well done. Game 2. This is Cut It Out, and this is Eruption, right?
Yes. So this is Eruption, who for the first time is deciding against bringing rain, which I think we both predicted he would have to start doing because people were just gonna prep for rain so hard that you can't force it every week. So I will say, when you're looking at Vanillux and Lapras, good on him for not dying on the Rain Hill and actually trying to adapt to the matchup.
Yeah, this is some of my favorite low tiers though to draft. I love drafting Lapras when you can afford it and you need like an extra water. Tangela is a great budget grass, and Vanillux was a kill leader of mine, and I think my first Gen 8 league. It's so good.
Vanillux is very, very good. I think it's a little undervalued at 6 points personally, but yeah,
it's so ugly though. It's just such an ugly mod. It was like
I actually think its design's pretty cute. I know that's an unpopular opinion. I know I have a soft spot for a lot of the Gen 5 designs that people take issue with. So
I think I remember hearing that an American or two got to design a couple mods, and everybody was like, "Oh, it was Braviary. Had to be Braviary." Because red, white, and blue, big eagle. Nope, it was Vanillux. Oh, come on, guys. So
the New Yorker designed Trubbish.
That would be funny. Trubbish is better than Garbodor, but this is for not rain. This is a pretty solid group. I think we'll see how he does not playing heavy on the rain, but Dracovish, Scarfed, obviously.
Well, Dracovish, Scarf Dracovish should never be brought to this matchup.
Yeah, it's just what
Zeraora. Yeah, but I mean, Zeraora always outspeeds you.
Lapras with.
And yeah, locking yourself into something against Lapras is always risky.
Yeah.
Tangela too. I mean, there isn't great.
I probably would have left. This is one of those Dracovish you probably should have left at home, but I know it's his mon, so let's see.
Well, I mean, Zapdos is his.
Oh yeah, didn't he change to certified Zapdos?
Yeah, or something like that.
Ooh, a great start though.
Dedicated lead over Quill is definitely interesting for this matchup.
This is Perish Trap, isn't it?
It has to be.
It's Perish Trap. I don't know what Boat is, but okay.
Boat. I believe that's a Phineas and Ferb reference. I want to say it is. I could be wrong.
For that. Man, Perish Trap's so frustrating to play against. But, at least of all things getting trapped, this is probably the least important on your team, and you get the 2 layers of spikes up. You just have to punish this. Yeah, I punished the defog here. Destiny Bond.
Interesting cussed up Destiny Bond, I think, is a fun set to run.
That was funny. The only thing that's funny is that he was not going to attack. He was going to survive. I don't know why he just didn't go Bar Barrage and try to get a poison.
I would just try to poison something. I mean, yeah. I think you want to use the Destiny Bond.
I think you wanted to show off the attack. Yeah, it's so funny. Well, unlucky, but now here's the issue: is you got the spikes up, but they're going away here in a second, right? Not a bad idea to go for the setup while you can.
Well, so I actually think agility is probably the worst bring you could on Latios this week, because what else is breaking anything? Like what else is breaking like Tinglu? The Tinglu, like the Tinglu Tangela core, I don't think is broken by anything on this team besides Latios.
Yeah, you'd have to get like a you'd have to be like toxic. So you have to be toxic.
Zapdos, but I just when you're Terra Steel Moltres, it's really hard. Which obviously you couldn't have prepped for, like I don't think he was prepping for Terra Steel Moltres. But I feel like Calm Mind is just so much better on the Latios this week.
Probably, yeah. Or if you're gonna do agility, it had to be a weakness policy, and you need to debate that early.
Also, yeah, that could be true.
Yeah, this is okay. Good, it breaks, but another Calm Mind, it probably doesn't break. So that's what's odd. Why did you just click Calm Mind?
They may have been predicting a toxic.
Or a swap.
Or, yeah, something like that.
Fairy. What is the fairy for?
So I guess good to respect the, and it's not choiced, interestingly.
Super
Which
Fang. Alright,
I don't
nice. That's a good
I don't
play.
think it should have been choiced, but
No. Oh, citrus.
Citrus though. Citrus Super Fang sub
It
with
doesn't get
Terra
toxic.
Fairy.
War Criminal was absolutely right for this little nuisance. Toxic. Roost is good. There's no, he's got to have Volt Switch or Thunderbolt. Yeah. This is going to be a tough one to win for Eruption here.
Yeah, the matchup already wasn't in his favor, but
oh, it was. He had a rough one.
With how conservative Cut It Out is playing, like
it's almost stall. Well, he's playing
it really is.
Stall.
Like there's, I mean, so this is obviously it's a defensive Moltres. You had Trapping Lapras, you have a Tangela, and a Tinglu. Like at least 4 out of the 6.
What are you blocking? Like, what's the block? I guess if you just want to subseed stall someone to death.
Probably for the Tinglu, maybe.
Probably. Yeah, he has no way to get out otherwise. You have. Please attack here. Please attack. Well,
yeah. So I mean, you get the Lapras, but a non-banded or Terra Water Fishless friend is doing nothing to the. Even with the Super Fang damage, I just don't think this Dracovish can ever break the Tangela.
No.
And if you can't break the Tangela, then Tinglu's just gonna stay alive for free. Like there just isn't enough breaking power on this team, which is why I think Calm Mind Latios was so much scarier to threaten.
Yeah, and Pharaoh's so passive here. It was free setup for anything.
Yeah.
Was there no Gyro Ball? I mean, I think block ended up. I mean, I get what it was for. It's one of those things that on paper it seems great. It's just you never get a chance because you have to basically get something to swap in for block to work. Unless they're trying to trap hazards, everyone's just gonna swap out.
Yeah, that was such a risky. Like the only way that play was good if the Moltres got fully paired there.
Yeah. Oh, here's. Well, it's boots. You have to click Hurricane.
I don't think it has it.
No, it doesn't.
I think its last move was probably Volt Switch or yeah. Oh, I guess Cut It Out's trying to catch a roost. Trying to catch it on a roost turn, and I mean, it's so unthreatened. It's so unthreatened right now. It's taking 6% after leftovers. So then, I mean,
I don't know what he's afraid of. I guess he's afraid of the moon, getting a moon blasted here. I mean, it doesn't matter. Tinglu is basically worthless at this point. He doesn't really need it. Yeah. I mean, if he had Surf, maybe, but then he would have died to the Lapras. Yeah. Whirlwind shenanigans.
Yeah, it's always a remote issue.
Like, is that his last move? Like what's the last move?
Toxic maybe? But I feel like we would have seen if it was anything. I don't know. Yeah, and
I think you're if that's paralyzed, you're definitely faster. I feel like you have to attack into that spot. You have to put some pressure on because you know it's Calm Mind. Huh.
So why are we going Ferrothorn instead of Florges right here? I don't know that it mattered, but like you're just giving it. It never wants to switch out from this position. So block is useless, protect is useless. Like you're giving it a sub. You had to Leech Seed before it subbed, and to force it out. And even then, it was rough. So I mean,
is this game?
Yeah, there's what's threatening it? The defensive Moltres, the Ferrothorn that doesn't have a offensive move. It looks like yeah. It just
What's the one with the last one? Is it Aurasphere? Does it get Aurasphere? I don't remember what it gets.
I believe it's Aurasphere. I would imagine you would have to bring Aurasphere against a Ferrothorn that's guaranteed to. Yeah, like it's just. And again, if you were Calm Mind here, I actually think you might be able to duel it if you maybe get a crit, because if it had a good move to hit you with, it would have done it. It wouldn't have used Thunderbolt again. Yeah, so I feel like Calm Mind Latios was definitely a better bring. Not crazy about the. I didn't like the Ferrothorn set. I didn't really like the
Dracovish.
The Dracovish set either. I wasn't huge on that. I think defensive Moltres was fine. I think you kind of have to bring that against this team.
Yep.
Florgus I thought was fine. I almost feel like Banded Overquill would have been really good here. Obviously, the Moltres
Parastrap is so hard to like. Yeah, that's tough.
But I mean, I feel like Banded Gunk Shot. Like even if you were expecting Scizor has a terrible matchup into the rest of this team.
Yeah, it's not great with all the water.
I like Zapdos and all the water types. Scizor does not like this team. I feel like a Banded Overquill and maybe a Calm Mind Latios would have been able to break the core that Cut It Out brought, and I think it would have been a much. It still might not have been like a win, but it certainly would have been a lot closer. And it again, depending on how RNG played out, it might have even won the game. So I definitely think there were some mistakes both in prep and less egregious play mistakes, but still I think some blunders were made on certain turns.
Yeah, I mean it was 5-0. It was a tough one.
It was the matchup was definitely not favored, but I will be interested to see if the Lapras gets brought to any of the other games, because this was its game, and I actually think it did the least out of everything on the team. Well, I guess Vanillix didn't really do much of anything, but
clicked Blizzard 3 times. Hey. Yeah, no, it was. I mean, Cut It Out played it really well.
Absolutely.
Tough one here for Eruption, but hey, it happens. We'll move on to the next one. This one, we have Mod Squad here, hysterically, versus what is just the greatest weird-looking Bugmon of Gen 9 and Spinosaurus. Too bad it doesn't have knockoff yet.
I'm so glad we got a Spidops game.
Yeah,
even if this is the only game that it gets brought, I'm happy we got one.
Spidops isn't terrible with first impression's great against Zarude. Webs is actually pretty useful here with Urshifu, being able to allow it to outspeed. So it's,
and you got the it can pivot if it wants. It does.
It has all the hazards except for rocks. I mean, it's for cheap points. It has some value. Okay, we're just seeing this. Wonder what's gonna happen here. Ooh. Oh, it wasn't rocks. It was
no body press. It looks like.
Oh, good play. It's got Ice Spinner. So I'm surprised.
It doesn't have Ice Spinner. Which, well, yeah, I guess if you see if it's rapid with rocks.
Yeah. Oof. Probably a roll.
I wonder why you don't. Why didn't you go Spidops the immediate? Okay, yeah, that was a little weird. I think you would have just gone Spidops a turn earlier, so your treads kept its health.
Oh, he's got sliced it. Oh, okay, so this is Zard X. Yeah.
Yeah. Even at +2, that Scale Shot does nothing.
Yeah. Oh, it only getting 2. That's bad luck. Toxic, you can just
Toxic was a good call. I'm.
you get 3 here. Got 3 when it mattered most, so he didn't get a slack off. He's just sacking the chomp here.
Yeah, you
That's smart.
You gotta give chomp. You get.
Well, looking good for
chip.
Ultra here. And you're not gonna live this. Spide Ops instantly back out. This is when you need circle throw, I think is what it is, right? Where it knocks him out.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, circle throws like Dragon Tail.
Yeah.
So just some pivots again. Where's the body press?
Spikes is actually pretty good here. With it, I mean, it automatically eliminates the treads. I'm pretty sure, unless it was boots, but I don't remember. Oof, that does so much damage. That's a big crit.
It does. That was a huge crit.
Calm mind. Nope, Draining Kiss. Oh, shenanigans. Here we go. Oh no, Whirlpool's like the worst thing you want to do because it's not going to really swap out.
Yeah, it never wants to swap out here.
Do you not have Moonblast? Jack's good. Unless he clicks Calm Mind like a...
I mean, you had to go for that double there.
Yeah, I think
that was the only way you were realistically beating it, and I think now it's over
he
now.
knows the protect. You need like 3 protects in a row here. Oh, so it was heavy duty boots. Okay. I wasn't paying attention earlier. Alright. Goodness.
Spide Ops taking it like a champ.
Spide Ops is bulkier than you'd think. It's not bulky, but it's bulkier than you'd think. Yeah, Urshifu's dead.
Well, but that's because you think it has no bulk whatsoever. But yeah, this
man. Remember when Hysterically didn't want to pick up Comfy because he's used it too often, and here it is. I think that's two or 3 weeks since he's had it. That it's just won him the game.
That's the second win that this team has gotten solely off the back of that Comfy.
It's just if you aren't prepped for it, or your answer just dies too quickly, like probably Treads might have been.
Like Treads,
Heavy Slam.
yeah.
Did it not have Heavy
That's
Slam?
why.
It wouldn't have mattered. It didn't have Heavy Slam or anything. So he didn't have anything for it. Oof, tough one. That's a tough one. Hysterically though, I mean, played it well. He even had 2 good mons, 2 good scarf potential mons in the back. So good win. Just Comfy did Comfy.
Yeah, it was a Comfy game.
Yeah, classic. I predict that'll be in the thumbnail. All right, hey, Bloop. Kind of pretty.
So
good
our
size lead
standings,
here.
our standings are a little off because Hypnos and Zachary's game for this week was postponed, but Zach ended up playing his week 7 game early. So he's played 6 games, but Bloop and Fuego have both played 7 already, as has GDP, because they played that game early as well. So the standings are not
They're
totally... Yeah, so if we had only played up to week 6, then Cut It Out would be in first. And even with the extra game that Bloop has played, their differential's only off by 1. So if Cut It Out wins their week 7 game, then they'll be in first.
Yeah, most likely. I don't know what the other tie. It doesn't matter. They'll be, even if they win 1-0, they'll be tied. I don't even remember what the tiebreaker is.
Cut It Out has beaten. They beat Bloop week 3, I believe.
Oh,
so
okay.
they would hold the tiebreaker to
Gotcha.
that.
Let's see here. GDP just ahead, although yeah, hysterically and Will in the driver's seat if they both, they win. They'll move up into the playoff spot most likely. But still, anybody from 1 and I think a team that's going to go 4 and 5, unless Hysterically and Will kind of tear through it. I think a team of 4 and 5 might make it in.
So if GDP, Hysterically, and Will all lose their remaining games, and Akboss wins all remaining games, he can make it.
You'd have to have some really bad losses, probably.
Sure.
Wins, but yes, it's definitely.
I'm not saying it's likely, but mathematically, it is still technically possible for everyone to make playoffs.
Yeah.
Now,
based on the matchups and everything.
If we're talking about who realistically is going to make playoffs, I think we're close enough that we can start. And obviously,
this doesn't. This you guys are almost locked. Bloop, I think Bloop is basic. It is almost a lock. It'd be almost impossible. Bloop, I think, would have to lose. I don't know the schedule. Bloop would have to lose the last 2. No, I think.
I don't think it would matter. It would have to be because even if he was 6 and 3, Hysterically and Will would both have to win their last 3 games.
It's most likely mathematically impossible based on who plays who that's left. It's almost mathematically impossible. I'd assume if you're 6 and 1, 5 and 1, 4 and 2, you were gonna have a hard time not getting in. I think if the 4 and 2 teams win one more game, they should be in. This is Zach is kind of the tougher one out of there, just because of the 2 differential. If you lose a couple games, not pretty badly, and you can kind of snowball down, that might sink you. But I think you're pretty much fine. I think this is where it's good, is GDP all the way down to Omnic. Any of those teams, I think, have a spot at that 7th seed.
So looking at the schedule, we have, just of note, this week Omnic plays Eruption, and that's a very important game because Omnic, I would say, and if Hypnos wins, actually if Hypnos wins his week 6 and Zach gets bumped to 4 and 3, that makes things very interesting suddenly.
Yeah, that is a close one.
And as unlikely as it is, I do think that if GDP, Will, and Hysterically lose 1 or 2 more games respectively, which is possible given who they're playing, I think that either Ultra or Fishing On can sneak in.
Yeah, I mean, teams could definitely sneak in here. It'll be interesting. It's definitely not set in stone, which is good. It's fun to watch that way.
Absolutely. So just looking at the next few weeks. So I already mentioned Omnic plays Eruption, which is going to be important. For week 8, Eruption is going to play Bloop, which is, or not Eruption, Fuego, excuse me, is going to play Bloop, which that could determine first. And the week after, Fuego also then plays Cut It Out. So his only 2 remaining matches are the current top 2 people.
Ooh, it's tough.
So I think, those matches are definitely, assuming the 3 of them win their other games, those matches will determine the top seed. So
and I think we auto promote first and second
auto promote, and then if someone who isn't one of those 2, if one of those 2 people doesn't win and a lower seed does, then they get it too.
Yeah, or if someone or if one of the top 2 teams doesn't make for finals, then like a random seed, they've got a shot too. It's not a given that way, but depends on how their games went. Let's pop over to The kill leaders, and the two generally regarded as very strong Terra captains on the same team. That's gross. 14-2. Yeesh.
Yeah, I mean, that like it shouldn't be a shocker. King Gambit without Terra is really scary. So with it, obviously it's gonna just tear things up. Same with Garg. If you give it a turn, it can suddenly just not be forced out in a lot of scenarios. Reggie Drago
It's
with
2 games.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 2 games where the fairy answer wasn't good enough to stop it from clicking its move. So, that can happen. It's definitely not something I would have predicted, but I'm also not super surprised, just given the matchups that it's gotten to play into. Comfey also with just 2 really good games and is now top
No
10.
deaths.
Also, yeah, no deaths
And it's like
is
half a season.
scary.
So, I mean, yeah. Comfy right now is probably. Is like my. I mean, I think for me, obviously the King Gambit, because Bloop's in first, is probably the real MVP. But Smolov's given it a run with that 0 deaths. That's tough, and like carrying 2 wins is huge. Interesting to see Valiant finally creep back into the top 10.
Valiant's finally back in the top 10. Both Zapdos and Vish have been pushed out of the top 10 after being there for, I think, pretty much the whole season.
Yeah. It's kind of starting to look pretty traditional, though. Like, this one's surprising. I mean, obviously, this one's a little different. Surprising me in the Comfey, you don't usually see that high, but the other 8 aren't terribly surprising at the top. Maybe Guard to an extent, but the other ones I feel like are, you could see that in 8 out of 10 leagues you play in, so totally fine.
I find it very funny that Vaporeon is ahead of Eleki in kills when Eleki has been getting hyped up quite a bit.
Oh, it's just not that good without Terra. With Terra, it's much better. But yeah, not the best, not the worst. But trying to see if there's anybody. This one surprises me. Zom down here. I would have thought it'd be higher.
I'm a little surprised Chiyu and Palafin aren't also a little higher. Normally you expect those to just sweep teams.
Yeah, he's been kind of getting it. Cut it really getting it done with Zera, and really Moltres has been his team MVP realistically.
Oh, that Moltres has saved their ass so many times.
Yeah, it's good mon, especially with Terra. But I think we got everything covered. Just we're in playing week 7 here. Remember, 9-week season, so almost done. Keep up the good work, guys, and get your games in.
Yep, and like as we stated a little bit ago, technically no one's out. There are some unlikely cases, but especially for the teams, 4 through 10, these next 3 games are gonna make or break you. So make sure you bring your best.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no one's out. Play it like you got a shot, and then we'll see. But hey, good stuff, guys. Really appreciate you guys keeping it going and being active. The commentary is certainly interesting, but it has been fun. So with that, we'll leave you guys to it. Any final words, Kelpo?
Spite Ups got brought.
Yeah.
The season could end here, and it'd be a net positive.
Yeah, Crab got dropped, so it's not coming. But that'll be a year-end review on why I dislike that person the most now. All right, but all right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.